All right, so we've got our final talk on the red team track today. It's TheCyberViking presenting Thrill of the Hunt. Looks kind of like a noir kind of film sort of thing going on here. So TheCyberViking is a final year digital forensics and cybersecurity student at TU Dublin. He says he's been breaking stuff since he was a kid, from radios to school administrator passwords. So obviously this led you to hopefully apply your hacking abilities toward the greater good. So you talk about how OSINT and how gathering intelligence from little bits of data can become an addiction. So this sounds kind of kind of illicit and really exciting. So go ahead, TheCyberViking.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good day. I just hopped in here now. I just got this talk ready about 10 minutes before the talk. So let's see how it goes. Anyway, we're going to hop right into it. So today we're going to talk about the thrill of the hunt, or my personal addiction to intelligence. I think all people who get into this kind of start to understand it. I think first off, we have to kind of give a straight up classification because, like all talks about intelligence have some sort of classification, and you have to have a classification. So for the purpose of this presentation is classified as stupid and confusing, just so everyone knows. So we're going to jump right into it and get straight into this and start understanding a lot of things about intelligence anyway. So first off, who am I? Everywhere I go, every talk I've ever been to, you've got people, walls of certificates, walls of text, walls of search saying, oh, this is them, this is who I am, this is what I do, that's what I do. I always find it kind of dull and boring. I never kind of get to know the person based off that. So I think it's usually better to have a better way of doing it. So my way of going is usually just show my Tinder profile. It's easier. So if you want to know someone in depth, you show them your Tinder profile. So for example, let's go through my Tinder profile. So for TLDR, I'm a final year cybersecurity student. I'm an ordained minister, and the reason I did that is so I could bless the rains down in Africa. I'm a certified evil genius. I hunt bugs sometimes. I'm a fan of classical music, Metallica, Nirvana, really classical stuff. I'm a whiskey aficionado. Global Trace Lab CTF winner 3 times running now, 4 times technically, but we won't talk about that. I find things, I track people, and sometimes do cool stuff. You can also get me at TheCyberViking on Twitter if you want to just talk or just hang out. I'm always there. I'm always in Discord as well, TMHC, so we always hang out there. In fact, there's my Twitter profile, and as you can see, I don't follow myself. So if you want to feel bad and go follow me, feel free to do it. Like, I'm always open, so if anyone wants to message me or ask me questions, feel free to DM me and ask them. So what's on this talk? Well, we're going to have a quick introduction. We're going to figure out what intelligence is, because I'm still trying to figure that one out. We're going to do the main things that people don't know. We're going to have a quick look at finding people, some massive fails that happen every day, a few examples, and some advice you should be using when posting stuff later on. Hopefully, you're going to learn some stuff that I learned and see how I do stuff the spooky way to figure out how you can learn to do this stuff as well. So, what is intelligence? Well, by the definition of intelligence, it's the collection of information of military or political value. And it breaks down into multiple categories, as can be seen here. Now, these categories tend to be boring just listing them out, so I'm just going to show them. But I think they break off into their own categories in different ways, and we'll see that in this kind of presentation. So how is Intel red teaming? Everybody keeps asking me this. How is Intel red teaming? Well, straight up, Intel is very important. When you're doing a red team engagement, recon is usually the first phase you go through anyways. You have to figure out everything. So when you're looking at companies, you're looking at their different things to post online, like job postings. So for example, here's a job post from a company in Dublin I was looking at recently. They have a lot of information. The information includes is like what OSs they're using, like Windows 7, Windows 10. They're using data center equipment. They're looking for people with certain years of experience. They're looking for like certain certifications. So we understand what they're doing and what they're working with. So we get on the gist of what the company's security and background setup is, so we can start prepping to attack it. So you're still not convinced. Like a lot of people got to this point, they're like, no, Intel is still not red teaming. I'm going to show you right now why it falls into a red teaming category and with an example. So 2018, Hawaiian false missile alert. Go look this up. It was hilarious. Basically, a tweet was sent, text messages, tweets, posts were sent out to everyone all over California area and Hawaii saying there was a nuclear strike happening from North Korea. It was then posted a couple of minutes later. The post all looked like this. It was posted a couple of minutes later that it was fake. It was accidental post. It didn't actually happen. And when they went digging for it, we were looking. You're like, okay, so they had an accident, a glitch. Computer glitches always start somewhere. And you know exactly where they start. They start with like public posted information. So looking at publicly posted information, it's great. Like a couple of weeks before this all happened, there was a post online. It was a beautiful photo of their operation center. Really nice photo. Like I'm sitting here looking, I'm like, okay, cool. Operation center, nice. It looks really good. Start looking a bit closer. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're using Windows 7. Cool. They're using the special software. They're using Google Maps. Okay, cool. Hang on a second. I see something there. It's their damn password. They had a password for the logins to log into the systems. And they still do not believe or think this is how they got compromised or it was even compromised at all. So, okay. So you get it. OSINT. Simple. Open source intelligence. But what is it? Well, to simply put, OSINT is literally everything you post out there. It's intelligence that can be pulled from you from literally anything you can find. So your Facebook profile, your Twitter profile, your Vine, God rest Vine, like poor thing, it was a great thing. I'll replace it with TikTok now. Your TikTok, everything that's available out there has some form of intelligence that can be found about you. That's the best way to put this. It's everything that's online, everything that's available, public records, public information, newspapers, things that aren't even online. And we'll see that now. So when I was saying earlier on about intelligence breaks into many categories, we're not going to talk about just them many multiple categories of intelligence. We're going to break down OSINT. And I'll show you exactly how OSINT breaks down in all these new categories. I break into my own term called all source OSINT. Because we can break OSINT down. When we go deeper, we start looking at deeper things such as posts that are posted online and pulling information from the post. So, for example, there was a post here on the European Commission about a press briefing they were having. Now, the press briefing was about Corona. We all know this. And a lot of people were looking at going, hey, look, photos are inside. They're all doing hard work. At this time, coronavirus was still new to Ireland. There was only 2 cases listed in Ireland. And these posts came out. I was sitting these posts and went, hang on a second. There's an extra dot. It turned out with 3 cases in Ireland and it wasn't actually publicized. So that was something I threw up on Twitter, and it's there if anyone wants to see it, you can see it and see how I pulled the images out. It was pretty straightforward. So, all source OSINT. Let's break it down. Let's break down all source OSINT. So, we got human-based intelligence. Cool. Now you tweet what you're tweeting, what you're posting online. We have geointelligence. So, geological information, it's all out there, it's public. Google Maps. We got measurements and signals seismic intelligence. Joint Research Centre, the European Commission, actually has it up. You can see all the radiological stuff online. We got technical intelligence because, well, to be honest, every time someone works at a factory somewhere, they're posting online about this technical intelligence. They're finding, just spent all day working on this new graphics card. Nightmare. Turns out it's actually some classified secret military equipment. Medical instruments. There's medical intel online. It's posted, always posted about. Cyber intelligence, looking at DARPA's new equipment that's been posted on Reddit. Digital network intelligence, so you can figure out what's around you and what's connected. Financial intelligence, obviously working with stock markets and seeing how they're fluctuating. Information is all public. And imagery-based intelligence. And I always argued this is all one form of intelligence. It's even though it all comes under the category of OSINT, it's all source OSINT because you can get intelligence in every factor from OSINT now. So what's the best way to learn this if you want to start learning it? Well, the best way I say is you learn by doing, and you learn by learning case studies. I'm watching case studies. This is something you can't sit and read a book or watch videos all day long. You have to sit and play around and do this to actually learn techniques and tactics. As one best way I could do this, and the site I could give you is sourcing.games. Sourcing.games is an amazing, amazing place to go to start learning how to do OSINT and play around. I highly recommend to anyone. It's great for reporters. It's great for anyone out there, anyone who's into journalism investigation anyway. It's well worth playing around and learning. So there's important facts though when you're learning. There's 4 important things you need to learn and know to look at when you're doing this. And these are the facts. There's 4 main topics I can break it down to. 1, the little things count. 2, everything is intelligence. 3, everything can be connected in some way or another. And 4, who, what, where, when, and why, and how. Always have them questions in your head, and you can answer any question about a person anywhere. So if you can find an answer to every single one of those, you have the person. So by nature, humans are addicted to knowledge. We're all addicted to knowledge. We're addicted to getting information. We're addicted to learning things. Intelligence is knowledge. Straight up, intelligence is just a form of getting knowledge. You're just learning about something. And the problem with intelligence is intelligence. It's literally everywhere. Everything we read about is intelligence in some form or another. So by keeping that fact, everything that is intelligence, we have like Instagram posts. Most people look at this and go, "Oh, beautiful woman painting pictures, lovely pictures over a couple of years, paints amazing photos and amazing pictures and beautiful photos." But I'm sitting here looking at this going, hang on a second. This is over the last couple of years. And the paint palette hasn't changed. Like, there's obviously something wrong here with this one. I'll give you a good example of where everything falls in this. Everything is intelligence. Example, the Whiskey Hotel. This is a post put out from the White House about the coronavirus meeting. Public post put out there, and I was sitting there looking, I was like, oh, okay, we got information here. Right. We got their names. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Is that a live feed from the CIA and the NSA and the OST? Is that a live feed with all their faces and names? Okay, the White House screwed up, and it's still public. They haven't pulled it down. I don't know. I don't know why they haven't pulled that one down yet. So these fails happen everywhere, all day, every single day. Here are some you see. You see Kanye West putting his password in his phone. You see the Ukrainian president putting his password in. You see North Korea accidentally leaking their attack maps of where they're going to attack. You see celebrities leaking their passwords all the time. You see it all over, like newspapers everywhere. People have failed every single day when it comes to this kind of stuff. And if you start looking for it and learn to look for it, you'll see them easily. And it happens worldwide. For example, we have the Irish Taoiseach leaked his driver's license while talking about voting. And when he leaked his driver's license happened to have his home address, his date of birth. It had everything on it. We also have Bob from the UK. I can't remember his second name now. Sorry, Bob. He's the counterterrorism officer for the UK. Leaked a secret document getting out of his car without realizing it. Someone was taking photos of the street and happened to have the document that said secret facing outwards. These fails happen everywhere. Even law enforcement have these fails, where this was during, I think it was Baltimore. They actually leaked they put a screen map of they're tracking some riot that was happening at the time, and without realizing it, they posted all their favorite links. Each favorite had a breakdown of who they were investigating at the time, such as MAP, Mass Action Against Police Brutality. They were checking. Someone just posted, Bob Quick, you're right. Sorry, my bad. So, Mass Action Police Brutality. That was one group they were looking at. There's multiple groups. They're using intel techniques. We can see all that. They're using periscope feeds. They're monitoring people. You see all the information that's there. But it's not just photos. Here's a very interesting one that a lot of people know about. Was Fontgate. There's a lot of things out there, such as this post that came out. This is a document that was meant to be signed in 2006 and leaked out and put everywhere, all over the place. And it was put out for everyone to see and be like, okay, this document was signed in 2006. We're off the hook. Turns out to use the Calibri font in the original document that was meant to be signed. Now, Calibri font, as you can see here, was only introduced in 2007 and wasn't actually available in the region before 2007. So the document was obviously forged. Now, again, not just documents, not just photos. It's also audio. I love hearing it because there's another friend of mine, Sticks. He's another guy. He sits in Discord. He was talking about this one time. I got looking into it, got really into it. People have mechanically loud keyboards. They're sitting there typing away. And they're thinking, you know what? The audio. What if you can convert the audio into text? On which it's happening. People are doing that. So without realizing you're in an open source environment, you're in a location that's open to everyone. And it's using a simple tool to capture your audio. They're converting your audio into key press. So you gotta be careful with that stuff. People don't realize this happens. It happens. So, as I always go, thanks for the intel, because there was great intel on this exact post. So a friend of mine, Casey, posted about in Dublin that he got a brand new apartment with a view of the bridge, and he was off the Wetherspoons for the night to have a session with the boys. Of course, someone replied back when, yo, dude, what apartment did you get? I'll call tomorrow, we get lunch. He's like, hell yeah, buddy. 14B, great view of the bridge. I'm sitting there going, oh, God, no, he didn't. Because I just realized he just posted everything he needed to tell us about where he was. He just said 14B. How many apartments have a view of the bridge that would have 14 levels? Never mind 14 levels, with enough apartments to have 14 A or B. not many buildings, kind of breaks down very quick. And then he did something stupid. He posted a picture of his key. The problem is with your key, like, this isn't actually his key, by the way. I had to cover him up that way. He posted a key. Right. Okay. Cool. He posted being very proud. I got a new key to my apartment. Awesome. But didn't realize I had metadata with a GPS location exactly to the building. And then I went even further because we started digging. And like at the time, he didn't realize that myself and another researcher called Numlock were playing around 3D printing keys and actually got a working key for the lock. So we rocked up to his house one day, opened his front door, and said hi to him. He was so shocked. So from that singular post that included that photo, we got tons of information. We got his GPS location, room number. We had how long he's going to be gone. We had a possible working design of his key. We had apartment floor plans. We had how inebriated he planned to be. So let's say, for example, I was breaking into his house and I was going to rob him. I knew exactly how drunk he was going to be when he got home, so I could take care of him if I had to. I knew exactly how far he was going to be away. So if I kept monitoring his feeds and he just had a post up saying, "Hey, just leaving the pub now, boys. I'll let you know when I'm home," we know pretty quickly how long he's going to get home. We have an idea how long it's going to take him to get back there. So you got lots of information. This happens regularly. People post pictures of their car keys online, or the kids post selfies in the background. A selfie, their brand new BMW keys sitting there, and someone is going out and making copies of their key based off the photo. It happens regularly. It's just tons of research on it. It's easily found online. So eventually, after a while, you start seeing absolutely everything in photos. For example, I was talking to Fruit on Snapchat one day, and I can't remember what we were talking about. The situation was screwed up pretty bad, apparently. And I was sitting there, I was like, whoa, I see something here. There's a reflection. Okay, let's screw around the reflection. We zoom in, we look at it, okay, we zoom in again, we flip it around, turn it, okay, it looks good. We got something here. So I start thinking, it's Fruit. I know Fruit well. Let's check Fruit's Facebook. Oh, wait. Fruit was watching hackers? Of course. Wait, it's Fruit. Of course. Fruit loves hackers. If you know Fruit, she loves hackers. Obviously. So let's start watching hackers until we find a point. Well, okay, this looks pretty good. That's pretty good. Hang on a second. Yeah. We match it up. Okay, it works. Pretty quickly, we found out Fruit was just watching hackers. Figure out what frame it was pretty quickly based on that single photo she posted. Now, then again, it's only a photo. It's harmless. It's of Hackers the movie. But what if it was a front door outside our house? What if it was a car outside our house? What if it was our car, a reflection of the car window of an address? So the thing about people, when it comes down to it, people are predictable. Everyone's predictable. But human nature is above all things lazy. Harry Beecher Stowe talked about this. It's very common. People are lazy. We see it every single day. People are lazy. When we go to parks, we see people who walk straight through corners, forgetting corners are actually there. And they walk straight through and make these paths and destroy the environment. So we know people are massively predictable. What happens when people are predictable? Well, they knew it back hundreds of years ago that people were massively predictable, and they prepared people for this, and no one really listened to them. So Rogers Rangers, standing order of Robert Rogers. If you don't know, I'm sure there's Rangers out there who don't understand Roger Roberts and standing orders. Has set out guidelines for Rogers Rangers back in 1759. Number 11 on this list was don't march home the same way. Take a different route so you don't be ambushed. They understood back then that people were lazy and took the same paths and were just predictable. They understood that. The problem with predictability again is predictability can map out someone's exact location to the point of the routes you take, the roads you take, the streets you use mainly, the shops you go to, the pubs you go to, the nightclubs you go to. It all makes sense. And the problem with having this kind of information, having a public, especially when it's predictable, is you start getting other information like cameras. Cameras are out there, and if someone's predictable, they're going to walk by the cameras. So that leads us straight into like predictability equals trackable, right? And people will argue and say, no, it's not. But then again, I'd argue it and say it is. So, for example, I was on a call with someone on Discord, and he said they're running the 168 bus and they're going through London, and they were just about to get off the bus, and they were getting off the bus. Then 19 nearly hit them. I was like, whoa, okay, 19 nearly hit you. That's terrible. So I got the 168 bus route. I got the 19 bus route. I crossed them across and got an idea. I was like overlaying them. I was like, okay, I know exactly where they are. I start looking at cameras in the area, start looking at different things in the area. And then I notice I found Rag very quickly. People are predictable. And when you're predictable, you're trackable. And it happens regularly. And like we do it regularly as fun. We take selfies of ourselves. This is myself and Alan LeBlanc, who was on talking earlier about the same topic, good friend of mine. We were in Temple Bar and we decided to take a good selfie of ourselves. It was a great selfie. It was perfect timing to do it. but we're using open source information where we were. And in theory, we could have tracked someone walking across the area if we had this camera as well. So connecting these dots, it's all about connecting the dots and bits of information that you can connect. For example, you start off with John Doe, simple little bit of information. You expand out knowing his social media accounts. You start looking at social media accounts. You expand out using his username, find their usernames. You get John Doe's usernames. You get all the information about the types of usernames used. You start searching other databases and getting information and adding everything up and start figuring out, okay, John Doe's in this location. He posted a selfie from this place. He posted a post from this place. You start adding that up, and then eventually you start building a map that can be built out to the person, start understanding person. And after a good couple of hours or months in some cases, specifically in this case I'm talking about, we got to this point where it was just craziness, but we had the person tracked down to a detail. We knew everything they were going to do 7 days of the week. So we knew on a Monday they went for coffee, on a Tuesday they went to college. You'd learn everything. And when that happens, other stuff happens. But people are predictable and it's easy to track, especially when it comes to missing people. People are the same when it comes to missing people. It's getting information and pulling information together. So you're sitting there, you're probably like, oh, I got great OPSEC. I've got amazing OPSEC. Most people do. They always think that. They always sitting in my talk and go, yeah, I got great OPSEC. So did this guy. This guy posted on Twitter a while back and it was like, CompTIA, flip my cube. So I was sitting here, I was like, oh, there's not much information here. So let's have a look deeper. Oh, wait, there's a phone. Let's pull the phone out and find the type of phone. Found the type of phone, looking at the type of phone. This guy was in a certain country. That type of phone was only available to a certain university. And he publicly posted about buying at a mass some of these phones, which basically brought me down to a pretty quick point of figuring out exactly where this guy was based off a phone shape on his desk. OPSEC is breakable, massively breakable. And we'll do this because I'm challenged to do this regularly by people. So example, these tweets, hundreds of tweets of people asking me to constantly break OPSEC or break their OPSEC or find them. Let's take a look at some of these. Here's your case studies. So Rag, for example. Rag posted this on Facebook to me. DM me on Facebook was, hey, find me, your challenge. So first thing I did was text Fruit. I was like, Fruit, start the timer. I'm going for Rag. So got the photo, started looking at the photo. Got the landmarks out, looking at the landmarks. Pretty cool stuff, right? Landmarks are good. Find one landmark, search against other things. So I started searching bridge next to a Ferris wheel. Not many of them in the world. Found one pretty quickly. Cross references, yeah, it worked pretty good. Works pretty good. Crosses very well. Start looking at cameras around the area, see the cameras, then line up the cameras in the view of the actual windows, get an idea where they are located. Cross-reference the whole lot on the Google Maps. Bam, got the building. Cool. So I pretty quickly figured out that Rag was in the MC suites at that time. Now, of course, I could text Rag and be like, hey, I found you. Fruit, stop the timer. But no. I was within the 5-minute mark, so I said I'll have a bit of fun, so I decided to ring Rag instead. Unfortunately, I don't have the audio here because Rag wouldn't let me use the audio, but I have the text. I'm not going to read it out because it's a lot of reading, and it's on my blog if anyone wants to read it. But it was an interesting way. Then I do this regularly to Rag. I always call Rag just for the fun of it. So I got challenged again by Ben Byrer guy. Go dox me. So I was like, cool, no problem. Again, we look at the same thing. I got it pretty quickly. I think it was within 15, 20 minutes of the original post. So I got it. Not even to the location, down to the window. So how was this done? We got the original photo. Of course, what we do originally is skyline. Okay, marking the main objects. Okay, cool. We find this information about the person pretty quickly. We're like, okay, he's a B-sides Newcastle elder. Cool. It's confirmed it's B-sides Newcastle. Okay, we got the information where the location kind of is. We start looking at clock towers in that area. Clock towers match up. It works very well. Okay, we got a clock tower that matches. We confirm it. Yeah, looks pretty good to the photo. Right. So we look on a map. We're like, okay, we got the clock tower. We got the location. We got Newcastle clock tower. Where else is around them? So we start going crazy eyes. You know the GIF you see online, like dude trying to point out and figure out everything? Yeah, that was happening at this point for me. Where I was sitting going, okay, what building around looks good? Okay, we got the 2 points. Guess what the gauge of the points? We got the other way. No, there's nothing there that could be in a building. But what if we go the opposite direction of this? Boom, we got the apartments. Okay, cool. We got an apartment. We line it up. Awesome. We even got the roof it came from. So we know pretty quickly where this person was when we're taking a photo. Awesome. We start looking at different things in the photo, like the roof, so the scale of the windows, the roof, the actual building itself, and start matching up the different locations. We start cross-reference the photo back to the window to even figure out what point of the window it was taken from. Eventually, it comes down to a point that I'm challenged every single day on this. Jenny Radcliffe posted this one online. This is a tough one for a lot of people, but I figured out pretty quick. Like as you can see here, I was challenged again pretty quick. Commonly, it's so common this happens. So I replied again, of course, as my usual fashion, within like half an hour later, basically with the location and the camera outside the location, telling her exactly where she was. And of course, I wasn't just right, I was right to the point of I had the exact floor and everything was taken from. But we won't talk about that. So we'll get into how it's done though. So again, remember people, small details, landmarks. What landmarks do we have here? We have a shopping mall, a church, the London Shard, and an eye, the London Eye. Stands out. Okay, London Shard Night confirmed it was London. We knew it straight away. Just had to confirm it. Google Maps bring it up pretty quickly. You got the London Shard. We cross-reference that with the angle of view with the Coca-Cola Tower, the Coca-Cola London Eye. Get that pretty quickly. We have an idea already where it is. Okay, so what else can we do? We start looking at the Shard 360 camera. So the Shard has a camera on it, this 360 view. You see all around it. It's great, really high quality as well. So we're looking at the camera. We turn it around. We go, oh, hang on a second. As we're turning around, we notice something. That building looks familiar. The building looks pretty familiar. Okay, cool. We move in. We get closer. Yeah, no, it definitely looks right. We got a shop sign. We see the shop. And then we just going to turn around and look up the shop. We got pretty quick. Okay, the area starts to look pretty good. Looks pretty good. So we can cross-reference that against the building, the angle of view of what we're looking at already. And we got the building, the Four Seasons Hotel. Sorry. Of course, solved it pretty quick. And it wasn't only to the point of solved it, I actually got the floor she was staying on at the time. And got myself a nice BC's Liverpool ticket. So we got some multiple honorable mentions here. There's multiple. This happens regularly, so we have hundreds. We have like tracking from a hotel to London, the airport in London. We have tracking houses. We got tracking apartment blocks. We've tracking Matt's in London, Liverpool, some crazy Pedros. We've got multiple. This happens regularly. I even got one right in the center there, which I was going to leave in, but I said to save time, I won't. It was tracking McAfee based on his bunker while stitching together all parts of his photo. So challenges everywhere. So if you want to learn this is one I really recommend looking at. So the CIA, they dropped a challenge on Instagram. I Spy My Little Eye. And it wasn't really a challenge, it was more of a post just say what was going on. So let's use it as a challenge though, because there's a lot of information to be got here. So we look at the photo, really high quality photo. We look at it, we got an ID badge. So quickly I noticed the ID badge looked something familiar. So I tracked it and used facial comparisons, facial recognition. I picked up was the CIA director, was her profile photo on the badge. Then I noticed that the badge number was 09-1947 or 1947, which is the date the CIA was created, September 1947. We look further, we got Turkish eye on the table of protection. We've got a photo of Tony Mendez, which if you don't know, the Argo film, the Iranian incident as they call it, he was the main perpetrator. And this is photo. It was found painting found on the desk, which was compared against his photo, which is then compared against his ID, which found out exactly who he was. So the clock as well. The clock was interesting. The clock had a piece of metal under the clock. It was found to be part of the Twin Towers. And the reason I found out was because there was a listing of a box by the CIA on their website by the deputy director, talking about how it was metal in a box from the Twin Towers, and he used to smell it all the time in his office because he could still smell the burning off it. The clock itself, nothing really too spectacular about it, nothing special about it, but the time of the clock was the interesting part. The time was from 8:46, which is when the hijackers actually took control of the plane and crashed the planes into the tower. So there's a little bit of history saved in this photo. There was money on the desk, Latin American money, and also Asian money. We also had a burn bag under the table. Of course, you know what a burn bag is. It's destroying evidence, destroying information, classified documents. You understand what they are. There was an eyes only stamp and a classified sticker. And at the time, I was so confused by this classified stickers, it didn't make sense. Because the sticker there's no type of that sticker out there anywhere. But after talking to some people, I figured out that wasn't actually a sticker, it was a seal, and I never actually updated the slide in that. There's maps on the wall, the maps of certain locations in the world. We understand operational locations. There's a brass owl that shows Greece. It's a Greek owl. It's from certain parts of Greece. It's sold online. The money on the counter is from there's European money, there's British money, and there's US silver dollars. There was a comic book on the counter, a bit of research found a comic book. But when I started looking at the comic, I was like, that's not enough in the comic book. And then I realized there's something very special about the comic book they have on the table. It's a CIA only comic book. And it's very hard to come by, but you can find it on online readers. So they have a rare comic on their table. There's a mass collection of books of information. So we have books, Secrets of the CIA Humor. We have Sisterhood of Spies. We have Spies, Black Ties, and Mango Pies, a cookbook for spies. Official CIA manual of trickery and deception. We've got a bunch of books on the table. We've also got Arabic writing. Now, if someone here can translate the Arabic writing, it'd be great. I'd love to be able to know what it actually finally says, because I've been messing around with this for ages, trying to get it to work, and I cannot get this to work properly on any translator, no matter how much I extrude it or try to work it. There's also a silver star on the table, which is obviously a carve out a star of the CIA wall and remembrance. The maps on the table all map out the different regions of the Persian Gulf, so we understand their operational error. Globe on the table, nothing really spectacular other than that was a globe that was from a different country. It was probably brought in as a present or as a gift, a return gift. The bamboo was interesting though, because the bamboo took me a minute to look at the bamboo and realized it's a very specific type of bamboo that comes from the mountains in Latin America. So from all this information adding together, we're starting to get things. There's photos on the table and the headphones. So the folders we see, it says in Anis. Based on cleaning it up as much as we can, it says in Anis. Anis is only located in a place in Syria, so it could be an operational area of Syria. A small town. Very interesting. We started digging into it, and I started trying to learn this, but it was really bad at the time. I was trying to learn handwriting analysis to figure out how the handwriting affected the person, how to identify the person based off handwriting. Was not easy to do, so I'm not an expert, but this was my attempt. So I decided to add that anyway. There was also challenge coins. Some of the challenge coins break down to the canine unit of the CIA. So the other two I wasn't able to figure out in the time frame I had. There's also lapel pins on the pin, right? So this was an interesting one. One of the lapel pins was a very specific pin to the OSS 75th anniversary. So if you don't understand what the OSS is, it was a predecessor to the CIA. It was also a 10-year federal service pin, lapel pin. And it was also, the lanyard it was on was civil affairs, so pretty straight gives it away. So what did we get from this information? Like, we got a lot of information from that. But what do we have? So as a photo, yeah, okay, it's this challenge put out there. What I'm looking at, I've got intelligence now. So we've got IDs, we've got information, we've figured out so much information from this. We figured out so much information in this photo. What else have we figured out? We've got to the point of we have the information that we can almost identify who it is. We've got the agent is obviously a member of public affairs because they're using public affairs lanyards and equipment and leave stuff around them. They've been a CIA or they've been a federal employee for over 10 years. The agent has traveled a lot based on souvenirs and information, also mainly Latin America region based on the money and the type of plant that's there, as well as the photos and documents that are also on the table. We've also got the agent might actually be older. They might be older, late, like they've got a lot of 70s kind of decoration, like the wallpaper is 70s. The carpet, if you look at the carpet, it's in the 70s kind of era. It's really old. So it could be an older person that uses modern technology because there's a lot of modern technology there. The agent has an interest in Middle Eastern events based on text. We can see possible Iranian, Syrian posters. We see a lot of information that links back to person. The agent enjoys traveling, wants to travel more, obviously, because we got traveling information. We got more money and foreign money sitting on the table. And the agent enjoys reading. Obviously, we got the bookshelf. And also, the agent's possibly female. And the way we say that is because the ID card is of the female. And also, the type of clothing that's there is female orientated. So, OSIN, as you can probably understand by now, OSIN can get scary. It gets scary very easily. This is some research that was done into looking into taking reflections of irises, people's irises. Now, if you don't know about this case, it was a case that happened and it was people's irises were kind of like, there was an assault that happened based on someone's iris that was out there. Scary. It was a scary thing that happened. Actually kind of took me back when I realized, okay, this is something I was researching in and this was happening and it was scary. But then it gets really scary when you start seeing more technology out there. It's not just this. There's also technologies such as really high definition cameras. Like, this is one I had to put in for people. They can get information from miles away that make this kind of stuff easier. So when you're looking at this photo, you're wondering, okay, yeah, it's a couple of miles away. So we're zooming in, we're trying to understand what's happening. And we can see the football game. We see they're playing American football on the field. This technology is out there. It's available. It's really expensive, but it can be got. I'll just show you the information we gathered that way. So as well as there is bad information, bad ways of doing things, there is OSINT for good out there. And I really need to put this out there. There is people doing good with OSINT. We got groups like Trace Labs, Badass Army, Instant Lives Foundation, Bellingcat, Operation Underground Railroad. These are great organizations who are using open source intelligence and the information I'm talking about in this talk to make a difference. And I highly recommend going out and supporting them and learning them and going to them and dealing with them, and basically pumping them up and making them amazing. Just pushing them out there. Let everybody know they're great organizations. Trace Labs hold an amazing CTF regularly, and I highly recommend getting involved in it. I participate in it regularly. I won't be participating in the next one as I want to take a break from it a little bit. But the people participate in this, and it helps locate missing people. People are missing, cold cases. Highly recommend giving it a go and getting into it and looking into it. Myself, I regularly participate and help in the world. This was during Hurricane Florence. This is an old one. Hurricane Florence happened in the US in South Carolina. I got involved in that a lot. I felt pretty bad. I had family who were living in the area at the time, so I was like, I want to help out. So I started using like Zello, got in touch with Cajun Navy, got in touch with different locations. Started using weather track and started using open source cameras to try to locate people stuck on the roofs or stuck in the houses that needed help, and I'd relay it back to Cajun Navy. This is using OSINT for good. And I think using that bit of information, the knowledge you have and the skills you have to be able to help and make a difference in the world is very important. So we get on to the part where we're going to learn a little something else. Safe post. So if you're sitting there going, I need to be able to defend myself a little bit, there's a couple of rules you have to follow. Am I allowed to post this? That's the most important one. Am I allowed to post this information? Does the post have metadata? Is the background of the photo clear? Remember, go back to the keys, the keys in the background of the photo. Is there anything in the photo that is revealing, such as the keys themselves? Is it okay to be online forever? Because once you post something online, it's going to be there forever. It's not just photos. Always remember, it's not just photos that give away intelligence and information. It's also what you say. So remember, sitting on Discord talking away about, hey, I'm going on holidays. Let someone know you're going on holidays and your house is going to be empty. So what have you learned in my talk today? You've learned a few things, hopefully. I hope you learned a bit. So you've learned the little things are intelligence. You've learned how to look at different things differently than normally, and how different little things and different angles change perspective of photos and how to understand it. Everything around you is absolute intelligence. Everything is intelligence, from neon signs to a little tiny piece of paper to plant pots. Everything is intelligence. There is intel literally everywhere. Posts online, like this video from the U.S. Army that was put up online of a cyber operations specialist, shows programs running, including Splunk on their desktop. Professionals around the world mess up all the time. It's very common. And we also understand how to be a little bit safer online, hopefully. Thanks all for coming to the presentation. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask the questions. If you can't get them on here, you can't get them out here in time, or you have them more later on, I'm always in Discord. I'm always online on Twitter, so feel free to just hit me up and ask me. I'm always free and available.
I'll be reading your questions from the chat, so
Sure.
Feel free and type away. Okay, we've got a question here from Ulsterfan. Great talk, Viking. Do you perform your OSINT investigations in your spare time? And if so, what kind of cases would you investigate to improve your OSINT skill set? Can you offer any specific resources?
So, yeah, I do. I do this a lot in my spare time. It's more of a hobby for me than anything else. And I love doing it. I really enjoy doing it. I've yet to actually get a career in it yet, but we'll see. But I love doing it. I really do. It's all spare time. The kind of case I work on, it's everything. So I've worked on counterterrorism cases. I've worked on domestic terrorism cases. I've worked on missing people, suicidal people, tracking down suicidal people who threatened to commit suicide. Tracked down school shooters as well. I've done a lot of stuff, bomb threats. We did a lot of tracking. It's a lot of great people in the world. I've a great team of people I work with as well who do this too. And we do a lot. As for resources, start getting into this. Get your friends to challenge you. That's the best way. That's how I started. Get your friends to challenge you and start using stuff like sourcing games. I really recommend that site. But get it there. Get your friends to challenge you. It's the best one. It's always the fun when you go online. Go on Reddit right now and go #OSIN challenge and see what you can pull.
McLabroad wants to know, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Oh, that's a good one. Because every single time I answer that one, he gives it to me. It's a different dinosaur. Stegosaurus.
And we got another question here. Apparently it's a vague question, but is there a line that you won't cross when doing OSIN? For example, verging on more of a gray area.
Yeah, I do have my own morals and I do have my own ethics on this. I won't do it if it's attack, if it's against someone, like if it's offensive, unless it's work related and I have full permission to it. I won't do it unless if it's affecting someone. The only time I will ever go ahead and do OSIN without someone's permission is if there's a legitimate concern for their safety, such as they're missing or something's happening. You have to have ethics. There is no rules out there for this. You have to have your own morals and your own ethics with dealing with this. At every single case you work on, it is case by case specific. So it changes every time you do something different. So every time you can meet a different missing person case, it's different from the last one. It's not going to be the exact same rules and rules of engagement. This, so it's very hard to give an answer like that. But I do myself have my own morals and ethics for places I won't tread. And most common is I don't touch friends and I don't touch family. That's my first go to. No friends, no
Someone
family.
here with a username that I won't pronounce says, are there any resources or groups of resources that you would suggest? They're interested in the image of OSINT.
Resources, places, hook up with Trace Labs. Get involved and look at how Trace Labs work. Trace Labs are absolutely amazing organization. Look at Bellingcat. Bellingcat as reporters, the stuff they do is spectacular. Sometimes, like the stuff that comes up, it blows my mind sometimes. But I definitely recommend checking them out and having a look and seeing how they go.
And we got someone else asking, what sorts of tools do you recommend for compiling intel? And also, what does Rag's hair look like right now?
Like, I couldn't tell you what Rag's hair looked. Actually, wait, Rag, send me a selfie. I'll know. But as for the compiling information, I just write my own report template and add all the information to the report template and just get that out. If you're talking about tool wise of what do I do to actually gather the information, everything is done manually. I don't do anything with tools. I don't like using tools mainly because you get lazy and you can always get a lot of false positives. I specifically like doing it manually. I think it's very important to learn things manually. It's the same as learning to pitch a tent. You can go out and get one of these fancy pop-up tents, but it's no good knowing a pop-up tent if you can't pitch a tent. Is a good way to say it.
Zephyrfish wants to know what you're doing.
What am I doing? Right now I'm about to pour out a whiskey and relax, I think.
Crypto Cipher wants to know, do you find using Maltego is likely to slow you down?
Using Maltego to slow me down. Yeah, like Maltego's great. I never use it for its actual purposes. I only ever use Maltego to actually use it as a mind map to be able to like map out connections and find connections between people and connect and the whole lot.
McLabrid wants to know, would you fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Oh, I wouldn't fight a horse because I like horses. Ducks can be weird sometimes, so I'll take on all the ducks because then if they don't kill you, at least you're going to be surrounded in cuteness all day.
All right, I think that's it. Thank you very much, Mr. Viking.
Kim, can I say something as well? Thank you very much for all your hard work today. It's been awesome. Thank you. Really good.
Thank you very much. Thanks for tolerating me. You've been great. Thank you, Stu.
You nailed it. I was jumping in and out. I've been jumping between tracks to try and catch some of the talks, but no, really good. Are we still alive? Are we dead now? Are we still alive? I know we're trying to move towards. just okay. Hello everyone. So we've got a slight change to schedule. We're just working out some things. We're waiting for the purple team to wrap up. I think TJ has been asked all the questions in the world, so we're waiting for him to wrap things up, and then we're going to try and do the con wrap up, just to say thank you to everyone, to do a rounding total, to get our AV team in, some of the speakers for the day, and some of the people just to come have a bit of a wrap up. And then we might, apparently everyone is here, and we'll do a bit of a wrap up. And then I'm just working out, we had some technical difficulties with the pub quiz. So I think what we'll do is we'll bring forward YT Cracker to do the after party, but I'll just get that confirmed. So yeah, I just want to thank everyone for today. It's been absolutely awesome. And we've had some great speakers. The after party stuff's still going, but as we've had a perfect set of speakers, and it's just like one thing at the end that just kind of went a bit awry, and that was not down to anyone. It's just down to Cahoots being a bit rubbish. Oh, apparently no. Apparently we're good for the pub quiz. Oh no. Apparently we're good for the pub quiz, so that's brilliant. Okay. I need some comms on this. So if you give us like 2 minutes, we're going to be back. Listen to some music, and then we'll kick the end of the con off, and we'll be good to go. All right, brilliant. Thank you.